Good evening, everyone. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. I've got an easy part tonight. All I have to do is say hello and goodbye. So I'll start with hello. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? We've got two wonderful speakers this evening, as we do every night. We've got the wonderful Leanna from Whyte Space Social, who's going to be talking to you about social media. And she's followed up by Rifat, who has run away, but he will come in time, and he's going to talk to you about your website for startups. So without further ado, the lovely Leanna.
Thank you.
You can pin that on somewhere.
Okay, yeah. Okay, everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. Cool. Let me see. Okay, I'll just kick things off a little bit with a quick intro about me. So my name is Leanna, as Neil said, so you can probably hear from my voice, I'm Canadian, but I've lived in Australia for over 8 years. I lived up here in the Territory for over 5. I'm down on the East Coast now. But my husband's born and bred Territorian, so I've worked with NT Major Events Company. I used to do social media for Crocosaurus Cove. So that kind of tourism events is my typical space, but I started my own business last year, and so I've worked with, it just feels like the whole rainbow of different types of businesses now. So definitely know a thing or two about Territorian businesses as well. Don't let my accent fool you. So I just wanted to start off by talking about the importance of social media. I don't think you would be here if you didn't realize that social media was important and an important part of your marketing mix for your business. But I'm going to throw a couple of little stats at you because sometimes I feel like I need to justify social media a little bit. Sometimes people think social media can be a bit more of a pain in the bum than it's worth, but what I love about social media is it can really be your customer's first impression of your brand. So this is actually a stat that I've pulled from Sprout Social. It's a social media management software. It's international, and these stats are specifically from the Australian audience. So they surveyed their customers, and they found that 1 in 3 customers actually use social media to learn more about and to discover new products. So to me, what this is saying is, I might recommend a product to you, but the first 1 out of 3 people, the first place they're going is onto Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube to find out more information. They're not even necessarily going straight to your website, not even these days necessarily Googling you. They're using that search bar on social media to find out more. So if you don't have a presence on social media, for 1 in 3 customers, that can be a bit of a question mark, right? And same goes if you're not posting consistently. So maybe if you posted something 3 years ago and then you go to the page, that might leave question marks for 1 in 3 customers. Like, is this business even still running or legitimate? So it's major to have even just a presence in the first place on social. What is so special about social media is that it's the place that you can really build trust with your customers. You might have a website, you might have a placement on the back of a bus, you might have a radio ad, you might have a TV ad. Even your website will be an excellent piece of content or advertising for your business, but social media is where you can really pull back the curtain, right? And you can show off your personality, build trust with your customers, and really show them why they should choose you over a competitor. And the truth is that when customers feel more connected to brands, this survey actually found that more than half of them, so 57%, would increase their spending with that brand, and 76% would actually choose to do business with you over a competitor if they felt connected to you as a brand, or felt like they understood your story or your reason for existing or your ethics, So social media is really all about connection, and it's the best place to do that. Like I was saying, your other forms of marketing absolutely have their place, but it's one set message that is being repeated over and over. Social media, you can share so many different parts about you and your business, which is what makes it so special and effective as well. So we'll talk today a little bit about building out a social media plan and a bit of a social media strategy for your business. Obviously, your business being Startup September will be pretty new, so this will probably evolve as you start doing business and you get to know who your customers are. But what I always say is it's about your audience, 100% about your audience always. The truth is nobody wants to do business with you on social media or look at your social media profile unless it means something to them, right? We're all selfish human beings and we have a million things to look at on our phones. So if you are a business on social media, I always want you to think about every post that you're doing. Why does this matter to my audience? Why does this matter to my customer? Why should they engage with this or even care? Like, okay, brand new refurbishment on my building. Why does that matter to my audience? New product in. Why does that matter to my audience? It always should start with them, right? So if you have a notebook or a pen, if you have a laptop with you, maybe make a couple of notes just about really going deep on who your audience is. So not just men and women in Darwin, right? We want to get a little bit more granular. So where are they from? How old are they? Where do they work? What problems will your product or service solve for them? That's major, right? Because we want to pinpoint that, and we really want that to be a big part of our content. So why do they need you and what you offer? And why would they choose you over a competitor? So when you go home, or later this week, I want you to really think about, for your audience, what does your business mean? Not for you, for your audience. How can you help them? And that should really be where most of your content comes from. So once we've kind of got an idea of our target market, or our audience, we'll have to start thinking about platforms. So my recommendation is, rather than trying to be absolutely everywhere on any platform in existence, to start off with one or two platforms. Because like we were just saying, if you start a social platform and then you leave it for dead a couple of months later, or even a year or two later, that's actually going to look worse than being in one or two places and posting consistently and really tying content back to your brand. So I recommend basing your chosen platforms on where your audience hangs out. So again, we're always starting with our audience. So I've kind of summarized this a little bit. This again is actually based on that same Sprout social survey. And this kind of gives you an idea of sort of the primary demographic. And it's all right here, so I won't go into too much detail. But what you'll probably find is that Facebook is that kind of 25 to 34 audience. So it's skewed a little bit older. That's the largest user base, but it's also widely used by even the generation older than that. So like, I know my parents are on Facebook a lot, and they also use Facebook for information gathering. And that's what we find for most people. Like, even for me, I'll probably go to Facebook to find out if a business is open. Instagram is where I will go to find out, to see pictures and videos of their menu, for example. Facebook is sort of, I like to say that it's kind of like your baseline. Facebook is probably where you want to be almost 100% of the time, unless your audience is skewed really young, because it's just kind of the default, that's the word I'm looking for, the default platform when people are trying to find you on social media. Instagram is same demographic, so this is the primary demographic that uses that platform. 56% female, so it does skew a little bit more female. Strong for lifestyle and branding. I think we've all seen that Instagram is really skewing towards video content, which is really great for that, visual shopping influencers kind of content and businesses. TikTok, 18 to 24, makes up over 50% of users. So TikTok is definitely skewed younger. It will be interesting to see how that changes once the social media bans come into effect in Australia, whether kids 16 and under will find, that's quite a large demographic that's on TikTok, whether they'll find somewhere else to go, whether they'll find a way around it. It will be interesting to see. YouTube is kind of a dark horse. I think a lot of people forget about YouTube, but YouTube is honestly, everyone is on YouTube. Like, older people watch TV shows and documentaries on YouTube and look up conspiracy theories. I'm on there watching vloggers. Young people are on there watching toy reviews, and it's just incredible the range of content that goes on YouTube. And YouTube has always been a long-form video platform, but they've actually recently started shorts in the last couple of years, and that's really starting to catch on now as well, because essentially that's that TikTok and Instagram Reels model. being applied to YouTube as well. It's great for kind of that educational vlog style behind the scenes content as well as a business. Great place to advertise as well. If you're ever doing social media advertising, it's such a broad spectrum of people to target on that one. Snapchat is known for use amongst teens, and a lot of teens use it as a messaging platform. So rather than someone like me who might use Facebook Messenger, they'll often use Snapchat. But actually what's interesting is that 45% of users are over 25. What's found is that those users are more likely to be doing the stalking. They're looking at celebrities who are on, and they're going through their Snapchat stories, and they're looking at the content, stalking their kids, yeah. Whereas the kids are kind of using the messaging is what most of the research finds. Twitter and X, generally not used as much in Australia. As you can see, this is global stats, and I think that's because they couldn't find as much data in the Australian market. So if you're thinking about an international business that might go global, Twitter and X is really great for news, public discourse, political. So depending on what your business is, that might apply to you as well. I still call it Twitter, even though it's X. I think most people do. LinkedIn, obviously that's professional networking, business to business, and thought leadership as well. Great for personal branding too. So if you are happy to be the face of your company, if you're a solopreneur, that's the place to be for LinkedIn, absolutely. And then Pinterest is a little sneaky one too. Pinterest is absolutely female-led. 66% of users are on Pinterest, but they are actually really likely to buy. So Pinterest, people who save something on Pinterest are actually 7 times likelier to eventually buy it than they are if they were to save something on Instagram and Facebook, which I think is really interesting. That's very visual as well. So kind of has a bit of a cross, I don't know what word I'm looking for, pollination with Instagram. Yeah.
You said before that the other stats you got from Sprout Social, did you get this from Sprout Social
Yeah.
too? I mean, the global stats.
Yes, yeah. So Sprout Social is available globally. So these specific ones that I've pulled from were from the Australian report, but actually within the Australian report, they noted that those stats were global. So I think it's probably because Australian stats it was a small market. Twitter X isn't used as much in Australia as it is overseas.
Yeah, I was saying, what about TikTok overseas for engagement?
Yeah, I would say absolutely. I didn't look into global stats for all of them, but I would say that these mirror a lot of what would be the same in the US. TikTok is absolutely skewed younger, like globally for sure. And TikTok, they've obviously had all that drama with the US ban. So I think they saw a lot of people leave TikTok and not return. I couldn't recall a stat, but I definitely saw that they had a bit of a drop off, and it's still a bit of a question mark whether TikTok will come back, will go away again. Although I think everybody thinks it will probably stay at this point. So absolutely, if you're serving overseas, I would really recommend Facebook, Instagram, TikTok for sure. I mean, I suppose it depends on your business. But yeah, don't discount TikTok for sure. There's a lot of American creators and users on that one too. It's incredible how much it's grown just in the last few years. Like unheard of. Go to the next one. Go too far? Yeah. Oh yeah, we went really far. Sorry. Got a bit snap happy there. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. So when we start thinking about content, once you've kind of identified who your audience is, where you want to be, for your content mix, I want you to think about a mix of 3 different types of content, which will be growth, nurture, and sales content. So sharing a mix of content of all 3 different types actually ensures that you're not only attracting new followers, but you're also building genuine connection with them and then ultimately selling to them and guiding them towards becoming paying customers. So growth content is the kind of content that gets you discovered and attracts new followers. So this is the type of like top of the funnel content that you're putting out that is sort of generalized or simplified, easily digestible for as many people as possible, so that they can kind of gauge what you're about and click into it or follow you or engage with it to show some genuine interest from the beginning, right? So this is stuff like shareable tips that might apply to your industry, relatable memes, things that are funny, listicles, so that people can immediately gain an interest in your business. Nurture content is where you get a little bit more gritty. That's where you're starting to build trust and you're helping your audience get to know you, how you can actually help them, and why they should actually choose you over their competitors. This should be, deep dives into your products or your services, staff picks for products. Maybe these are my favorite products in store, behind the scenes moments, showing off how you're building your business, and interactive competitions. So that's competitions, polls, lives, things like that, Q&As. And then sales content is content that kind of turns these warmed up followers into paying customers. So those are clear calls to action, right? We've got a sale on this week, memberships are open now, et cetera, et cetera. Customer testimonials, sales and launch announcements, showing off results that you get for your clients. Maybe if you're a consultant, this is kind of the stuff to really prove that you know what you're doing and hopefully get people over the line. The reason you kind of want to have a bit of a mix, if you're constantly sharing this growth content, right, which is really general and it doesn't really get into the nitty-gritty of what you do, people might think it's funny or they might get some free information out of you, but they're never going to understand why they should really trust you. And they're never going to know that you have a sale or what you actually offer if you don't actually talk about your products and services. But if you don't share any of that, and maybe you're sharing all this nurture content, so you're just featuring your products or behind the scenes moments, but you'll never grow because eventually you'll run out of people who have maybe you attracted with a couple of these posts, and then you're going too hard on this and you're going to find you'll be stagnant. And then the same goes for sales, right? If we're just constantly saying this is a sale, come to store, people are going to disengage with that because they're not connected. They're not following you on social media to be sold to. They want to feel connected first. So it's really about having a mix of all three. Did you have a question?
Kind of. So I'm just trying to figure out how to know what to post when. Would you be looking at your data and thinking, okay, I've got a bunch of new people. Maybe now I should post more nurture. Or I don't have many new people coming on. I need to search more growth, or there's a bunch of followers that I've got now, but I don't have many sales and new personal sales. How do you know what to post when?
It should be a mix always, is my recommendation. Yeah, so always a big mix. Probably if you're very first starting out, if you've just started creating your page, I would think about, maybe leaning heavily into the growth content at the beginning, but you always want to be sharing a mix, right? Because just like I said, if we're sharing too much of one, you'll lose people in different stages of that funnel, right? So it should always be a mix. And we'll go into that a little bit further too. So yeah, that's exactly what I just said. So too much of one, and we'll lose people at a different stage. So to help with this, in terms of your content planning, I really recommend nailing down some content pillars. Has anybody heard of content pillars before? It's a bit of social media speak. It's essentially just content themes for your content. So it's a core set of topics, and what I like to say with pillars is they really should just be a foundation that your content should be based on. Not absolutely everything you ever post will fall under these pillars, but by identifying these pillars, you're kind of working out what the key themes will be that you will talk about on your social pages. And the idea about thinking about them now at the beginning is that they're well thought out, they're relevant to your audience, they're about your audience, and they're not necessarily just posting for the sake of it. So that when you get to that point, once you start your business and you're super busy and you get to a Friday at the end of the month and you realize you haven't posted anything for a couple of weeks, these content pillars, once you've worked those out, it's such a great framework for you so that you can lean back on these content pillars and you've already got some content themes that you know you've thought about and you know will be relevant to your audience. So it just makes content planning and content brainstorming so much easier once you've kind of got this in place. And I'll show you that further down too. So we'll kind of do a little exercise because we've got a bit of time. So we'll come up with our content pillars, or at least a framework for them now. So the first thing that I want you to think about is what you want to be known for on social media. So how do you want your business to be perceived? What do you want people to think about your business or associate with your business when they see your content or they hit your social pages? So I've given you an example. Obviously, I'm a freelance social media manager. So for me, I want to be known for helping people with practical and easy to implement social media advice. I want to be known for having lots of experience in my industry. And then also I'm a solopreneur, so my personality is a big part of my brand. So I also want to be known for being fun-loving, hardworking. I'm a working mom. That's really important to me. So that's kind of what I want to be known for. I want all of my content to work towards being known for these things. So I'll give you a couple minutes and we'll just think about what that might be for your business idea. You can come up with a couple of those. And I'll show you how we can use that to build out the content pillars. You'll have to keep me on time, Neil, because I can't really see a clock. So if it seems like I'm going too far over, just let me know. Cool. So if you are like a retail business, you probably want to be known for having great service, a really large range of products, for being an expert on whatever industry your retail shop might be in, as an example. It doesn't have to be super detailed at this stage either. Okay, so once you've got a couple of things that you want to be known for, we're going to tie it back to that audience that we talked about at the beginning. And I want you to think about who you want to be known for, so who's your target audience, but also what problems do they have that you can help them with. So for me, I work with business owners, marketing managers, agencies that are just lost. They're overwhelmed. They don't know how to come up with social media content. They're not sure where to start. That's who I help, and that's the problem that they're facing, right? So I'm here, and I want my content to show that I can help them solve that problem in their business. So think about that in terms of yours. And I always come back, retail shop as an example, again, would be, we can never find great chopsticks in town, something like that. If that's something that you sell or you specialize in, that's a problem that you might fix for them. I feel like you could definitely find chopsticks here. It's probably a bad example. Worst example ever. Yeah, hopefully that one's pretty easy. I guess we've kind of talked about that already a little bit. So now it's as simple as connecting the dots, right? So what do we need to share to ensure we're known to those people for the things that we want to be known for? And that's how we're going to come up with our content pillars, so our key content themes. So for me, I want to be known to potential clients, so business owners, marketing managers, agencies, as an experienced social media strategist and with a strong work ethic and a fun personality, right? So I've pulled those two things together. So my content pillars are social media management tips and advice. That's at top of funnel. That's going to pull anybody in, right? Because that applies to lots of different types of people and businesses at all different stages. That's the kind of stuff that people are like, oh, that's interesting. I think I'll give her a follow, or I'll engage with that because that was good content. Then I'm going to talk about my unique offerings and services, because I need to sell my unique offering and services, right? So we've got to make sure we've got some sales content in there. I've also got that behind the scenes of my work. So I'm going to show myself on site capturing content for a client, for example. That's very nurturing. That's showing what I can do and how effective I am at my job. And then I'm also going to talk about being a mom and a new business owner and my personal journey, because my personality is a big part of my brand. And that's also nurturing, because I want to work with people who want to work with me because I have a good personality and I'm a mom and I'm a business owner and I'm relatable, right? So does that make sense, how that all kind of comes together in those pillars? And what I say to people is start up a Google Doc, put your 4 or 5 content pillars in. It does not have to be fancy. Have your dot points under each one, and you can start slotting through the month or through the week or whatever, any ideas that you might have for each content theme. And then what you'll find is you'll come to the end of the month and you already have a few ideas right there if you kind of have that working Google Doc. And you can access that Google Doc on your phone, on your laptop. You can share it with a team if you've got coworkers. And it's a really effective way to kind of always be actively thinking about what content you can create that's relevant to your audience, right? So this is an example of that. I've kind of come up with these content ideas that fall under each of my pillars. So you can see how all of these content ideas are ultimately tying back to the same thing. Who can I help, and what do I want them to know me for, right? So it's relevant, it makes sense. We're not just posting memes and funny things for the sake of it that don't actually make sense to our business, right? All of this is relevant. We can have fun and we can do different things and we can hop on trends, but it's important that it means something to your audience. Otherwise, you'll just be sending it out to the void. So we'll touch on, so now that you've kind of got your content ideas, let's talk a little bit about actually planning. So how often will you post is probably the question that I get the most in my work. And the truth is that there's no special number for each platform. Especially when you're a new business, like posting as much as you can is great. We want to reach as many new people as we can. But I always say, don't burn yourself out. It's so easy to underestimate the time and effort that it takes to create social media content. Like it can be a full-time job. You can easily make it a full-time job if you want to. So my recommendation is to really stick to a schedule that you can manage, which I would typically recommend, around 2 to 3 posts per week on Facebook. Instagram, I would say around 3 to 5 posts per week. TikTok, that algorithm is a lot more forgiving, so you could post a few times a day if you wanted to, and you wouldn't be annoying the same people with your content, because TikTok prioritizes showing your content to new audiences. Whereas Facebook, if you were going to post more than 2 to 3 times per week, you might be starting to move into the territory of annoying your followers because Facebook will show your content to your followers before it shows it to new people. So Facebook, I would keep to that 2 to 3 posts per week. Instagram, 3 to 5. I've put a few more there because especially if you're trying to build a new page, reels and video content really is king. So I recommend adding, a couple of reels a week to your schedule if you can. But I really want to stress that it's more important that you're consistent than the quantity. So like putting out lots of posts. Because if you are posting maybe 5 times a week for a month, that's amazing. You might drop off for a couple of weeks. That algorithm will take off without you and it will leave you behind, right? So when you start posting again, it will have to catch back up. It's going to have to relearn who's engaging with your content, relearn who's sharing and liking and leaving comments. That beast will take off. You have to feed the beast consistently for it to really learn who you are. And you have to do it for a while. Some people say you need to post 100 times before the algorithm really gets to know your audience and really learns, this is all organic without spend, who your audience is. So I know it can be tempting, probably especially as a new business, to smash it out. We're going to do a post every single day, but I really encourage you to think about what is attainable for you, because avoiding those long gaps is a lot more important. And the content being quality that's actually relevant too. I think you'll find if you start trying to post 5 times a week, you're just posting for the sake of it, and then it starts to get off track. So when you're content planning, I also want you to think about what your assets will be. So to keep your audience engaged, I really recommend including a mix of different types of assets: single images, carousels, collections as they're called on Facebook, video content, and experiment with different types of content that you can share as well. I've kind of screenshot this just to show you how in my business, this was really early days, but my business, how I've mixed up that content, right? So I've got a reel, I've got what I would call a branded asset, we've got an image. So we've got a carousel here, so we're mixing up the different types of assets so it doesn't feel too same. I also thought I'd screenshot this just for Instagram, just to show you some of the fun different tools that you can use within your stories too. Don't think that it always has to be an in-feed post, right? Have a look at the different types of content that you can share. The more different ways that you can share your message, the better. Okay, so if we're plotting our post, so I'll show you just how using those content pillars can make content planning actually a lot easier. So now that you've kind of got those determined and you've got some ideas, what I usually say is try to set aside an hour or two at the end, so say September, for your content planning for October. If you start trying to plan too far in advance of that, any more than that, I think what you'll find is you'll miss things that are coming up because you're planning a little bit too far ahead. Social media moves quickly, right? We want to hop on trends and events and things that people are talking about. We want to be a part of that. If we're planning too far ahead, you'll probably get a little bit out of touch. What's trending in January is not what's going to be trending in October, right? So about a month before is what I usually recommend. Take that 20 to 30 minutes to brainstorm and research your ideas, and then start plotting those into your calendar. And I'll show you how I do that. So this is an example calendar that I've just created for mine. So the first thing that I would do if I was content planning is I would slot in any special messages that I might want to talk about. So I've got in here like a promotion and a sale, right? I've got school holidays here if that relates to your business, or, you know, special holidays. We just had Father's Day. If there's something like that, you know, if I'm running a workshop and I want to talk about it, I'll slot that in first. And then I'm just going to take my content pillars with my content ideas that I've populated in my Google Doc through the whole month, and I'm going to slot them through, right? So I've got content pillar number 1, and then I think I'll put another one down here because we want to split up those content pillars a little bit too. If we're posting the same theme of content back to back to back to back, it will just blend into sameness for your followers. So try to mix that up a little bit. So you could even go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, you can see how simple it becomes. You really only need 2 or 3 ideas under each pillar, and you've pretty much got a calendar right there, at least the framework that you can build upon. And what I would typically do if I was planning, I would put in, you know, the content idea, and then I'd probably note the asset that I would be using. So if I thought that this would be a really good branded carousel, for example, and I thought this could also be a good carousel, and this one too, I might switch up where they'll be placed so we're not sharing the exact same style of content back to back as well. So it can be that simple. And honestly, this can take an hour, 2 hours just to build out that framework for a whole month once you've kind of got that content pillar exercise in place, and it can be really helpful. Just a little random tip, I will actually schedule my content planning in my calendar as a meeting, and I actually take it with myself in a different place. So I get away from my desk because then my emails are not attached. I'm quite visual, as you can probably tell. So I actually get like a calendar, or I'll hop onto my personal laptop And I will actually do it on my kitchen table, or I'll do it outside on my couch outside on my backyard, just to get me out of that space. I'm not thinking about my clients. I'm not thinking about the things I have to do. And I really take that hour, and I find it so helpful just to be in a different space if you're working on your own business, on your business instead of in your business. Just a little tip. Another little bonus tip is to use scheduling tools. So there's quite a few scheduling tools available to help with consistent posting. Scheduling ahead can be really helpful, especially, you might have these great ideas. You can kind of come up with the assets, and then you can get busy, you can get caught up, and you never get it out. So scheduling ahead of time can be really helpful. This is what it looks like in the back end of Facebook, and you can connect your Instagram to your Facebook page using Business Suite and schedule. I think it's up to a month in advance. One paid option I've started using is Metricool, and I really like it. It's only, I think, $45 a month, and you can connect like multiple businesses. It's not just one, and it's got great insights. It shows you really great stats on how your posts are performing. I really like that one, so I definitely recommend it if you are looking for a paid option as well, because this Facebook Business Suite gets the job done. It's just not as nice to use, I guess. It can be a little glitchy sometimes. Another little bonus tip is to stay true to your brand. So brand consistency really increases recognition, and it establishes that trust, right? I'll often see businesses that have got a Canva account and they're sharing some really nice templates, but all of the templates have different colors, or they all have different fonts, and they just look a little bit inconsistent. If you head into Canva, you can actually set up a little brand kit, and it allows you to pick your colors, pick your fonts, and you can actually apply your brand kit to any templates that they've got, and it will actually convert like the colors and the fonts to your brand. And that's what I've used to create something like this. And I really recommend doing that. It's just that extra little touch that gives you that consistency. And if people start seeing you using those consistent brand pieces, they'll start recognizing you as well. Excuse me. I'll take that off. I'm coughing into the mic. Excuse me. So this is the back end. Excuse me. Oh, God, thank you. Oh, I've done too much talking today. So this is the back end of Facebook Insights. So once you kind of get going and you've got some stats to look at, I definitely recommend doing this kind of in that same session with your planning. So if you look in your back end of your Insights, this will actually pop up, and you can see your audience demographics. So you can see their ages, their genders, and you can actually also see when they're online. Lots of people ask me, is there a good time to post content on social media? Really depends on your business and your audience. In my years, I think I've been doing social media up in the territory for like, excuse me, 6+ years. And I've always found that 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. work really well. Particularly for Facebook and Instagram. And what has kind of come out recently, especially with Instagram, is actually the CEO of Instagram has said, your content, the algorithm usually needs a couple of hours to pick up your content, AI read it, what it's about, identify who's engaging with it, and it takes a couple of hours to start pushing it out. So I feel like 10 a.m., a couple of hours later is kind of that lunch break time when people are hopping on their phone. And then 3 p.m., you're hitting that sort of 5 p.m. time when people are hopping on their phone to look after work. So I just find those times work. Might be different for your business, but definitely give it a test out.
Sorry, so did you just say that there's basically a 2-hour lag from when the AI will pick your content up and push it compared to when you post it?
Yes, it will start pushing your content out straight away, But what they've said is that 2 hours, they use that 2 hours as like a bit of a data mine. So they'll see who's engaging with it, and they'll use that information to push it out to more people. Yeah, so you might find if you post something at 10 a.m. and 3, you can still get likes and comments at that time if it's good content, if people are online. But in terms of showing it to new people, it would probably be that.
So you get like, obviously push it out to your regular followers and people that are already following you, but new people kind of when you start seeing maybe an hour or two later.
Yeah, exactly. Because AI will, it's really important that you're putting kind of SEO into your captions in any text that you're overlaying on Reels, for example, because Instagram and Facebook's AI will read that text. It will read the caption. It will read the headings you've put on your content to identify who it's relevant to. Absolutely. And yeah, that takes a couple of hours. That's what he says anyway. And that's what he said a few months ago. It's probably different now. Like, it changes all the time. It's social media, it will always change. But yeah, give it a test. Like, try different times. I know lots of people who post in the evenings, and that works really well for their business. It might work for yours too. Another little bonus tip is to repurpose content that works. So if you go into those insights and you see something that works really well, maybe a specific message or topic or pillar, don't be afraid to talk about it again. So this is an example of, I've talked about what's included in my content creation package here, using some video content. Then I've done it again here. Like, that's okay. Don't feel like you can't say the same thing again. I would just recommend that if you are doing that, to give it a bit of a creative spin, right? So it doesn't feel like the exact same post twice, and give it a little, a few weeks buffer as well. But that is so fine to do that if you're shy on, or if you're low on content ideas. Also, don't be afraid of trends. Hopping on trends is really important, and it's a great way to reach new people. Just make sure that it's relevant, which is what we've talked about, right? So if you see a trend that's going around with a lot of, maybe competitors are hopping on it, or lots of businesses in Darwin, and you feel like you could add a creative spin and you could make it relevant to your business, don't be afraid to do that. One of my favorite little discovery tools is the professional dashboard on Instagram. So if you go into your Instagram page, you hit the little hamburger menu, you should come to professional dashboard, and you can actually click on inspiration here. And what this will offer you is what people are posting in a similar vein to your content. So it should be, if you're doing your job correctly and you're sharing content that's relevant, this should actually show you other businesses that are similar to you and show you kind of maybe trends that they're hopping on, or audios that they're using, or what they're talking about maybe within the industry, maybe like industry news. So it's just a nice way to see what other people are doing. There's also trending audio. So if you can use, oh yeah, I forgot that was a touch screen. If you can use a trending audio on Instagram, that's definitely a nice way to get an extra boost. What trending audio means is just that lots of people are using it. So if Instagram recognizes
doing exactly that.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah. Can you see it? You've got it on your tab there? Yeah.
Something new?
Yeah. So you can click this trending audio, and say if you're doing a reel and you want some background music, have a look at what's trending, because that can give you that little bit of an extra bump, because Instagram will actually start showing your content because it recognizes that audio is being used a lot. Yeah, have a look back there. There's a few nice little tools, but yeah, I like that inspiration tab. And it's a good sense check to make sure you're posting content that's relevant. Ooh, that was fancy, what that did. This is my last tip. So, oh, it's a different heading, but anyway, this is my last tip, which is just to be engaged with your audience. So it's a big deal, you know. They say something like 0.2% of your people will engage with your content, which feels like nothing. I know, it's terrible. So when someone likes your comment, when someone leaves a comment, when someone is engaging with your business, replying to your story, anything like that, like engage back, definitely like the comment, reply to it. That really helps show, more comments on your content, even if it's yours, will show the algorithm that it's interesting. But it's also just engaging with your audience, because at the end of the day, it's about that connection, right? This is a little like sneaky hack that I like to do, and I do this for most of my clients, and I do this for my own business. And this is the Q&A box on stories. Something about stories, they will often say that stories is where a lot of your sales can come from, because the audience that's looking at your stories, they have to click into those stories to see them. So they're often a lot more engaged with you and your business than maybe someone who might come across it on the feed, right? You don't see a story unless you're following already, so it's kind of that warmed up audience. So this is a really fun little hack to interact with them. So you can set up a question box on your story, and it can be something like, for me, ask me anything, ask me about social media, whatever. And then you can reply to your own question box. Nobody will know. This is what it will look like. But like, for example, I used to do this for Croc Cove all the time, where it would be like, ask us about the Crocs or something. Ask us about the cage of death. And I would put it in, and then I would start asking questions. How old do I have to be? How long is the cage of death? How much is it? And then once you start answering them, so once you get an answer, you swipe up and it shows you all the replies, and then you can sticker them on the reply and you can answer it. And it's such a good way to address like FAQs that people might have about your business. Great way to show off your personality. And once you start asking questions, people are like, okay, I see what she's doing here. And you will get other people asking questions. It won't just be you having a conversation with yourself. But what I love doing after that is then pinning them. So you can pin these stories here, and you can pin multiple stories. In general, I recommend pinning these like tabs on your website. So you've got an FAQs, packages, pricing, like whatever it is. But I'll do an FAQs one, and now anyone that hits that page will be able to see those stories that you've created, right? And it will be answering questions, that people are commonly asking. And you can change this, you can switch it out with different ones as you get them and change it up, and that's my favorite thing to do. It's like my little hack, and it works every time. And it's so engaging for people who are nurturing with your business, right? Because it feels really personal when you're just having a conversation with yourself at the beginning. And it makes you look good too. It kind of makes it seem like people are really engaged. Yeah, so that's my little hack for stories. If you have a business where user-generated content is relevant, so something like a tourism business where people are coming and they might share their own content captured, definitely give that a share if the content is good. It's always good to see the perspective from the customer, right? So if there's any opportunity, that's why testimonials are so great. If there's any opportunity to show off your business from the customer perspective, it's just a little bit different than it being from the business's perspective. If you're ever mentioning another business in your content, give them a tag. Those kind of posts always do better, I find. And use hashtags. I've touched on this a little bit. I wouldn't recommend hashtags for Facebook. They don't do too much, and I feel like they kind of make you look like an old person if you use hashtags on Facebook, if I'm being totally honest. But Instagram, hashtags are like SEO these days, right? So back in the day, we used to say, search engine optimization. So SEO is basically like keywording, so putting keywords into your content that people might use to search to find you or your business. So for me, for example, like social media marketing or like freelance social media manager, someone might pop that into the Instagram search to find someone that might have a social media tip, right? So I would use that as my hashtag, whereas back in the day, like even a couple of years ago, we used to be like hashtag Darwin, hashtag NT, hashtag Northern Territory, hashtag da-da-da-da-da, and it would just never end. It would be like 30 different hashtags, and you could save a hashtag and search by a hashtag. That's really changed. Now they say use up to 5 on your post and make them really keyword rich. So really think about what someone might be searching to find the type of content that you're sharing and use it that way. For hashtags, just helps with that extra little bump. And do the same in your captions too. I could do a whole thing on SEO within your content, but definitely as a little hack, if you write a caption for your content, flick it into ChatGPT and then put a little prompt in and just say, can you come up with 5 like SEO rich hashtags that I can add to this post, and it will spit out a few for you. Always think about your location as well. When you post something in feed, you can add your location. I would always be adding Darwin, Northern Territory, like that helps you get found. It helps the algorithm categorize where you are. Put Darwin into your content, into your captions if you can. It's all about making the algorithm and the AI on the socials able to categorize you as quickly as possible. So, yeah, I think that was all I had. Any questions at all from anyone? Thank you. Yeah.
I don't know if it's still the same now, but before a lot of people who were on Instagram really paid attention to the design of their posts, like really having like a palette color and and I feel like nowadays it's not really
you're right, yeah.
anymore. Is that true? Or,
yep, absolutely.
I wanted to post something on my fun page and my personal page. I haven't posted in 3 years because every time I'm like, I need to find it's not good enough. I need to find a valid color. I need to have the same style every time, and then I never do it.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I think Canva templates got really popular for a really long time, and we're actually seeing people start to move away from that a little bit, because it's like I was saying, you know, people don't want to follow a business to feel like they're following a business. They want to feel like they're following the people behind the business, the story behind the business, the brand, not necessarily a business with a logo, right? So I really recommend, if you're uploading anything, use the text that's available within the app. So if you've got a reel, for example, and you're adding text overlay, do it within Instagram, because that feels really organic to that platform, right? We want it to feel a little bit like me as a business owner. I'm talking to you as a person, and we're mates and we're friends, and what I would post as a business on social media would almost be what I would post as a friend that you're following too. Like, it should feel that natural, and it can. Branded assets have their place, absolutely. Definitely great, like I was saying, for building that brand recognition, but don't feel like it should be everything, and it actually shouldn't be everything that you post.
You don't need to do like one reel, one post, one carousel. And like have those like consistency of like when you look at the...
Like your grid, you mean? Yeah.
That it looks...
No, it really doesn't need to be like that anymore. It really doesn't. I think what a lot of businesses are finding now is it's actually just about feeling more authentic and genuine than polished and pretty. Because polished and pretty doesn't feel genuine, right? TikTok has really changed that. It was like that before TikTok. Instagram is still a little bit more on that polished end, where we're all a little influencer-y and we've all kind of got a facade. It's not always real. TikTok is real AF. Like, TikTok is like, have you ever seen those lives of people like just fulfilling orders, and they're just in their disgusting warehouse like filling orders and stuff? That stuff goes off. And TikTok is changing everything else. That's starting to bleed into Instagram Reels now. That's why Reels are taking off. So that really candid, real, in the moment, not too edited, not too polished and pretty, that's where we're going. And businesses, we need to catch up with that too. Yeah, which is good. It's a lot less work in a sense. Like, we don't have to create templates for everything. We can be really candid and have a bit of fun.
I guess we make a difference between person and business.
Yeah.
But it should be the same.
Yeah, honestly, you want your brand to have a personality on social media, not just be this pie in the sky business. Like, especially on social media, it's the brands that have a personality that are going to do well, for sure. Yeah, it's a bit of a shift. Thanks, TikTok, for that. Anybody have any other questions?
I was going to say, do you think that your branding really comes down to like the size of your business? Obviously, startups maybe would be more personal, but maybe that kind of style of filming or editing or like content that you post would change as your business like develops?
Yeah, absolutely.
Rather than a startup?
I guess it depends who your audience is too. Like, I don't know your businesses, but it depends who you're targeting and what kind of content you think that they would connect with. That kind of really candid content would probably be more like customer level, right? Like somebody walking into your shop or making an order online.
Because I don't see big businesses posting stuff that
Yeah.
I would post, and like big brands. And if you're looking to build your brand, you might want to have your filming style or like your direction and how you like,
Depends.
capture your
Yeah. Have you ever seen Fate, the label? It's a retail shop. She's not the biggest retail shop in Australia by any means, but Brittany, I can't remember what her last name is, but if you ever get the chance to look at her socials, she runs this retail brand, women's fashion, but her personal brand is very much a part of the content that she builds, and it's a lot of that really candid stuff. Like, they absolutely have their campaign visuals where they do really pretty, branded photography and videography. But a lot of her content is in her car talking about, amazing fabrics or something like that,
Does that make her feel more smaller market, like more niche market, rather than like a bigger brand though? Like, is that part of her brand that she is a smaller brand?
I wouldn't say so. I think it's taking the customer on the journey with her while she builds a bigger brand. And that is so connect rich. Like, people feel connected to her personally, so they're going to move with her business because she's taken them on the journey from the beginning. And I think that's really relevant if you're starting a business from scratch. Like, if you're comfortable with it, make that journey a part of your content.
Yeah, that's a big part of what social media I think is really, really good for if you are building your brand and you're building your product, especially us here as new startups. That's probably what our biggest focus on is the building
Absolutely.
Of the brand, and maybe what we'll post now might migrate and change.
Totally, yeah. What you will post will change. It will never be those set content pillars for the rest of time. It should absolutely be flexible and move with you, for sure.
So would you say, I've got a business page on Insta, and then with the transition, so part of that journey was similar to what I'm doing now, or going to move into. Would you then take those people on that same journey, or would you start something new? Because there would be some crossover. I'm not telling you what it is.
Yeah, she's being very mysterious.
Tell us what your old page is.
So you've got a business, so you're starting a new business?
Yeah.
But a different industry maybe?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
But different
there was
page.
crossover. So I'm a removing massage therapist, but I did Muay Thai and I worked in that gym
Yeah.
as a massage therapist. So it's related to the Muay Thai section.
Yeah.
So there would be people that would benefit from my new invention that I'm not telling.
Yeah, I think if it's relevant to that audience.
Yeah. So originally it was that was my, because I had no idea. So that was my personal.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then it turned into my massage page.
Yeah.
So I've got people all over Australia. But I don't know. There would be linkages for other things as well.
So will you keep your massage business, or this is a completely new business, new profile?
I won't keep the massage business
Yeah.
on that page, so I won't cross-contaminate.
Yeah.
But like I know a boxer in Queensland, for instance, and he would 100% do something for me. Like he's the Irish Australian boxer. You know, so like there could be some big audiences in that area.
Yeah. So what's your question?
Should I do that on my Insta page or should I start a new one?
I would stick with what you've got because it sounds like there's a crossover.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like it's not like you're going from, yeah. So it's not like you're going from massage to opening a restaurant, you know, like it's still within the same vein. And I would be honest with your following. Like I would say, you know, this is my business. I'm pivoting in my business. I would pin that to the top of my profile. I would answer some questions in my stories and I would pin that to my stories and be really honest with your following. You might find that, you know, your engagement might dip a little bit, but I think use that base audience that you've got. Absolutely. Yeah. And people have probably followed you because they know you. I'm sure there's a lot of people. I mean, it started out as your personal page. So it's still you.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be afraid to, you don't need to start over.
Continue, if you do a personal brand, not a business, you would continue your personal page.
Yeah, I suppose it depends what your business is. For me, for example, I'm a consultant, I'm a freelancer, so I am my business. Yeah.
But it makes sense to keep your own Instagram account.
Yeah, I think if I grew and I ended up having staff, maybe I had 10 people and we became an agency and we're doing more things, then it might not make sense to have a combination. And then I might, you know, if I wanted to build my own personal brand, I would create my own separate personal brand.
Basically, for freelancer, you will keep your Insta page, but for creating a business, you would create a new page.
For a freelancer like me, for me personally, I have a business page and I posted, it's relevant to my business what I post, but it's also about me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's not too different for me personally.
Do you post in your personal and you post in your business page?
I just have a business page. I have a personal page, but it's private, like it's separate from my life, from my public life. I think if you're first starting out and if you are going to be the face of your business, I think you just need one business page and you're the face of that business. If you evolve and you have staff and it's no longer relevant, then you could separate off or you could decide whether you bring people in to create content, you know, other staff members or something like that. But for right now, I think if you're a startup business, that journey of you building your business, that is like goldmine content. So use that if you can, if you're comfortable using that. And don't be afraid. If you're comfortable sharing your journey as a business owner and how your business is growing and moving and you're fine to be the face of it, then I would suggest putting that all in one place on your business page for sure. Yeah. But that example I gave, I think her last name might be Higgins, Brittany from Fate. She started out as a fashion label and she was just Fate and she would post about it, and now she has two separate brands. She has a personal brand and Fate is her shop, but you'll notice she posts everything in collaboration, so it goes on both of them. So a lot of what she'll post, if it's relevant to the business, we'll post on both, on the personal brand and the business page. Her name is Brittany. I can't remember what her last name is, but Fate, F-A-Y-T, is the retail shop. I really love how she kind of juggles that personal brand with, yeah, she does a really great job. Yeah.
Question for those of us who haven't launched yet.
Mm-hmm.
When would you suggest is a good time to like start building the social media brand before like our products are ready to launch?
Yeah, I mean, as early as you have content. Like I said, that building content and building your business, like that is beautiful connect building content. So if you're comfortable to say, you know, I'm building a business in the next 6 months time, come on this journey with me, like that's amazing. If you have the capacity to share that kind of content, people will just get to know you so well that way. And that's a great way to build an audience, build an email list, build a database so that when you do launch, you've kind of got that customer base in place. If you have the capacity to do that now, like 100% recommend doing that. Yeah. It's a bit different too. So I'll stop talking. Neil's like, shut up, Leanna.
Leanna's one of our digital experts, one of our providers. If you'd like to get some one-on-one time with her, we can do that for you, either through the NT government or through the Digital Solutions Programme. So you can have 3 or 4 hours with Leanna, and you can ask her everything you want to know specifically about your business.
Cool, thanks everyone.
Come to you with some photos and some content and like be a little bit prepared.
Yeah.
So that,
Whatever you need help with, honestly. Like I can help you come up with what that content would look like too. If you need to brief a photographer, a videographer. Yeah, at any stage, I'm happy to help. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Leanna.
Thank you.
Now what's next? You've seen his name for quite a long time now, so here comes Rifat. Rifat's a good friend from True Blue, and they do a lot of great work with us. He's going to talk to you about your first business website, what you should be thinking about. Rifat, thank you very much.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Pin this on to you. Cheers.
All right, it's Thursday evening. I believe we're pretty much exhausted. I had my 4th coffee just now, and yeah. So as soon as the caffeine does work in my body, let's talk. We might have to wrap it up after that. All right, my name is Rifat. I work for a business called True Blue. We are based in this building, though, next office to BC&T. And yeah, I'm going to talk about website today. Yeah, for some of you, it might be a boring stuff because a lot of I get this impression from a lot of customers. They're like, oh man, I tried, but I couldn't continue. That's the most impressions I get from most of our customers. So yeah, let's start, Neil.
You're in control. You just press up and down on the keyboard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. All right. So website for startups. I believe today we came with some intention to understand how we can, show our presence in online, which is very important because especially when it's startups, you don't have a huge office, a lot of team members, or probably a banner in nightcliff roundabout. So what do? How do you show up to your audiences, to your customers? Yeah, you show up through websites. Okay, and it's the first step, I believe, along with digital marketing, of course. I don't want to disappoint Leanna, to start your business and to approach your clients and audience that this is what we have got. Now, let's start. I'll quickly introduce myself. My name is Rifat, and just as I mentioned a bit earlier, I work with True Blue. We are based in this building. We mostly provide web and app development services. Along with that, we provide IT support as well. So yeah, so far I think we reached, our portfolio reached over 100 websites we have done so far within the last 3 years. We started in 2022. I'll share the journey of our business as well throughout this process. So you probably will find it very much relatable to your business because we are a small business. We started in 2022 and started with 2 team members. Now we are 6. So I would like to share this experience. How did you do it? Okay, so that you might get some idea out of it. Now, how many of us has a website or ever tried to build a website? How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we've got 3 person who still doesn't have a website or never tried to start one. And what is the first question you asked yourself? That why do you need a website? I just need a quick answer. Visibility.
Way to sell things online.
Yep. You probably run an e-commerce business, shop. So yeah. Yep.
It's a one-stop shop, really.
Yeah.
put all your details there, all of your programs, all whatever you're selling, whatever you're all about.
Yep.
Have it all into one place.
Yep.
People can
Yep.
scroll through and look for exactly what they're looking for.
Don't ask me.
Oh, okay.
Mine failed.
Oh, no, it's fine. You have got a website, pretty nice website. I've seen that. Kasim.
First point of contact with the
Yep.
customers.
Yep. Yeah. So see, we all of us has got some thoughts and why we need it, you know. Now, I give an example like this way that without a face, you cannot recognize a person. Without a website, you most of the times cannot recognize a business. Easy as that. Because I'm going to talk to you now to understand more about your business. You know, I would like to definitely get something quick, because we human beings are in race now. They want to get a quick impression of everything, like idea about your business, to get to know more about you quickly, and that's why people create social media and LinkedIn profile, to make it quicker. So here, your first impression is important, and that's why we build website. Does it make sense? Because no matter you want to approach a client or a customer with your product or services that you are providing, no matter you want to apply for a tender or a grant, that's the first thing they will ask for. So that's why to make sure your first impression is quite great, is professional, it's better to have a website. Now, always open. Most of us, I personally work full-time. You might be working part-time. You might be working, on the weekends on your business. But you still need to show up information about your business, about the services you are providing throughout the whole week, whole month, 24/7. And how do you do that? You can do that through a website, because when it's online, people just need to click on that URL you shared with them, and they still can see it. Doesn't matter. It's a Sunday 7 p.m. in the evening. Still they can see it. Because you never know when your customer audience has got time to look for the services that they are looking for, and when they look for, and if your ACO is good, they can quickly find out your website where you showcase your services. So that's why I call it 24/7 shop for you, because it's working for you 24/7 and non-stop, as long as it's online, So, and that's the second reason why you need a website. Builds credibility. Professionalism is important, especially business in Australia. No matter we want to approach a customer or a client, no matter we want to apply for a grant or apply for a tender, the first thing the clients or audience will ask that, do you have a, something where I can have a look? What do you do? It's important. That's why we used to, visit places or go to events with the, business cards before. But now you see, in every business cards, you always show up, showcase your website URL as well, because they can quickly just jump on and can get the contact details from there too, because your website comes with contact details as well. So it doesn't just provide the first impression or just showcase 24/7. It also makes your business professional. So that's why we need a website. Levels that playing field. So I was talking about small business, because most of the businesses in Territory are small business. 98% businesses are a small business. Like all of us in here most of us are a small business. So how do you survive? How do you showcase? And you and I are a small business. Sometimes we might be competing with medium-sized or large-sized business as well. Because the audience, the customer might need such kind of support or services that fits well with your services that you are providing. And how do you compete with that? With the existing businesses who's doing quite great. So you want to jump into the market. How do you do that? You must need a website to make sure that among other competitors, you are showing up. And yeah, of course, you need a good SEO to show up. Otherwise, your website might not show up. I'll talk about SEO later on. But yeah, to make sure, you are competing with your competitors. It's showing up your business details and service details. You must need a website. Now, is it okay if I just build a random, web page and put it up there in online? Is it okay? What do you reckon?
No.
Because we want to showcase our services professionally, isn't it? Like probably with some good-looking photos. It doesn't have to be good-looking, like professional photos, good content, some words that express our feelings. What are we really trying to provide? It can happen through a website. So what do we need to make sure of that? That we have got a professional website and it's showcasing and it's generating some leads, and you can convert that leads into your potential customers, because we need that. That's ultimately our goal, to get more leads out of this website and to make them our customers. We need to share a clear message to them. It is very important. Now, I was telling that we human beings are on race. If we need some services, we quickly go to online. We search for related keywords and search for the websites relevant to that. And we probably spend 5 to 10 seconds, or probably 15 to 20 maximum, to have some quick ideas. Does that business provide the services that I'm looking for, or they don't? Sometimes I have got few mentors who talks about website and digital marketing. They say the time is 3 seconds. 3 seconds is quite fast, though. I would have said like average 5 seconds of time your audience starts spending to find out the relevant services that you are providing. So now imagine how clear your message has to be on your landing page to grab the attention of that customer. Yeah, that's the time you have got, only 5 seconds. So it has to be either with a photo or a message that, that helps your audience to understand exactly what you are trying to provide. And that way you can convert that leads into your customer. Now, mobile first design, we get this case a lot. A lot of businesses, they come to us after running their website for 3-4 years. They come to us and they say like, I've been having a business for a while and having a website for the last couple of years, but we don't get any calls from the customers. We are surviving in business just through, mouth-to-mouth references, but we are not getting any leads from our website. And then we try to investigate what's been happening, why they don't do it. The most mistake that the small business does when they do their website by themselves, they build a website in desktop. They don't look at the mobile version of it. So what does it mean is your website is looking okay on desktop. And as I was saying that, when your customer and audiences need services, they quickly go and search for it online most of the time from their phone, and that's 60% time they search from their phone. And if they don't find your website mobile friendly, which means quickly accessible, the navigation and the tabs and menus are quickly accessible, they just get out of that website, they jump onto the next website. This is the case, happens most of the times. So along with making a professional website in desktop version, you have to focus on the mobile friendly version as well. Because we always, has got our phone with us. So if I need some service, anything, I look for online and look for the services with some keywords, whatever that comes in my mind. And what happens then? You want to see a good, nice website which is quickly accessible. You can quickly jump into the contact menu, from About Us menu, from services menu, or from projects menu, or from products menu. So it needs to be well organized in mobile version as well, along with your desktop version. So this is important. We have to make sure of that. Intuitive navigation, another important thing. So it's working on desktop version, working on mobile version, but the navigation is difficult. We find some website comes without any header. Some website comes without any footer. Some website forget to, the developer or the business who built that website forget to, add a logo on that website. Some website doesn't have a call to action button, like, contact us or reach out to us or get a code, because you have to ultimately, get some leads out of it. So you have to provide a clear message, provide, smooth navigation so that they can reach out to, they can jump into, contact tab, they can jump into services tab. So have to make sure that the navigation, the menus that you have put, on your on your header or on your footer, it's accessible and it's easy to, it's clear, and they can find it out easily. Engaging content. Now, I was talking about content just on previous slides, how important it is. Again, we have to look at the timeline. How much time you have got? 5 seconds. That's very, a small amount of time. But if we provide a proper message and write some good contents, so 5 seconds, you are grabbing the attraction and attention of your customer and audience, and then you pass them to, look at your services or the products you have got. Because ultimately, grabbing attention, but not making that leads into customers, there is no benefit, does it? So we have to write some contents. Well, sometimes some businesses prefer to add a contents, whatever they feel like they want to express. Some businesses, gets help to write contents from developers or from a content writer. Now, I'll leave that part to you. You can, we'll have a chat about that later on as well. But we have to make sure there is good enough message, good enough contents in there that's helping to convert that leads that's coming to your website, someone who jumped onto your website, to make them a potential customers. And that's why engaging content is very important for your website. Strong call to action. Now, you might be running an e-commerce website, e-commerce business, right? Trying to sell products. You might be, you are running a business, service-based business. So you want to provide services, you want to sell more products. And how do you do that? You have provided you grab their attention within 5 seconds, and they have read through some of the contents from your website. Now you want to make some money out of it, right? You have to convert that leads into customer. How do you do that? You encourage them with a call to action button. That can be the, buy now. That can be the contact us, book an appointment, or get a code. So this sort of message you can provide to make sure they have been directed to you, because some website doesn't have call to action button. So you provided all this message, nice photos out there, but then what? Because you have to direct them, says like contact us, and then that navigates them to the contact us page, where you put your you add your business email, phone number, website, your business address, so that it helps them to understand where you are located, how they can reach out to you. And that's why your call to action button is important. It can be a button, it can be a message, it can be an email address you can put on your header, and can say that you can reach out to us through that email. So that's why your call to action button is important for your website. UAT. So this is not a very common case, but we had this issue many times with few customers, who probably are big fan of, MacBook, let's say, and they never used Windows. Or some customer probably had used Windows all the time, never had a look into MacBook or iPad. And what happened during that time when they don't browse through, because when you build a website, it allows you to test out your website from different type of devices. And if you don't test it out from different devices, you're just testing out from your device, there is a high risk, or there is a lot of chance that your website layout might not fit in with another device. So let's say you build a website in your MacBook, it's not fitting out in your Windows laptop. This is a case we find with a lot of customers and here. So the first thing we do user accessibility testing, because what happened on that case, we have got 6 team members in our team, and 6 of us has got 6 type of devices, right? Some of our team members prefers MacBook, some of our team members prefers Windows. So when I send the link to 6 of them, and 6 of our team members test it out from 6 devices, that means we can ensure that this website is passing on, and looking great from any devices that we are trying out from. So it's important, after developing your website, no matter which device you are using, to test it out in different devices from different, browser as well. And this will help and allow you to make sure that, your website is working properly and professionally. Now let's move into the next slide. Quick overview what we have discussed so far. So first thing first, some principles that you have to make sure when you build a website or when you get a website done by developers, that we have to make sure of these things has been covered. Otherwise we do not go live with our website. So first thing is simplicity and clarity. 5 seconds of time, it's a complicated one, then there's a high chance that your customer or audience is getting out of your website, they're moving to next website. Responsive and mobile friendly. It has to be quite responsive. The navigation has to be quite smooth, and it has to be, it must be accessible by your mobile, by a mobile phone. It can be either Android or iPhone, but it has to be accessible, because most of the audiences that you are going to get to is mobile phone. So I have to make sure that it's looking great on mobile phone as well. Consistent branding, important. Every business comes with a theme, with a color, with the big color palettes, and with the message and design idea that that represent your business, that represent your brand. So you have to make sure that throughout this whole business website, throughout this whole process, you are focusing on same design concept. You are focusing on constant, content. That the tone of that contents and the approach of that contents are quite similar to same with the landing page. It's similar to the service page. It's pretty much same as the About Us page. So this is what you have to make sure. Sometimes we comes. Multiple people from a team might be working on multiple pages of the website, and that can can make it different. The contents can be different from each page to another. So the tone of the contents can be different from each page to another. So the team or whoever is building that website have to make sure that the content and the approach and the tone of that contents is similar to each pages, because website comes with multiple pages, So I have to make sure of that. Engaging visual aesthetics, of course. If your first impression is not good, then if there is a high chance that you might have lose that customers, and they might have moved to the next website. So we have to make sure that visually it's an attractive website, and they stay on the website and go through those pages and the contents you have written for them. Now, content and SEO strategies. How many of us heard about SEO, search engine optimization? Okay, go on. Kasim, yep. So yeah, we have got a bit of idea how does SEO work. Now, how content and SEO are related. So we are a small business, we are startups. And there are a lot of business out there available online. They already have got such nice website, their contents are good. And how do you still show up among all these businesses who's been there for many, many years. This is where SEO can help you out, and good contents, of course. So contents, you can write, the way you are trying to approach and sell your services. It can be something that that you want to talk exactly what are you planning to sell, and with your own wordings, or it can be done by developers or a content writer who can write it a bit more professionally. Now, let's talk about content creation. How do you create contents? The concept in here become quite easier than before, because now if when is a matter of writing contents for your website, most of us will say that I use AI to write my contents. Yeah, you definitely can do that. It's pretty easy. But again, still, your customer and audiences will prefer the words that you want to say from your side, your heart, that this is what I'm trying to sell, and this is what can benefits you. So it can be done either using some support, some tools online, or can be done through from your side as well, or you can get some support from professional too. But that decision is up to you. But you have to make sure that you have got a good number of contents in your website. That can be about your services. You're writing in detail that what services and how these services can help your audiences and customer. Some blogs that you can write, with your opinions and thoughts. How can, why you introduce this service or this product to ANT or to Australia, and then this can create some attention to your audience and customers that this is why I would have purchased service or products from this business. Keyword research, that's a whole lot thing to discuss. I don't think we have got that much time to talk, but in detail, there are many tools available online to do keyword research, which can be sitting at front of your computer. The easiest and free of cost tool that I use or our team use most of the time is Google Keywords Planner. So if you have got a Google Ads account, you can go to tools, go to settings and tools. In tools option, you will say the Keywords Planner, and it comes free with your Google Ads account. You don't have to pay for it. And how do you do that? So either you can do a bit of market research that how many competitors you have got in the market at this stage. Let's say we are IT business. I'll definitely look for other IT business that's available locally. Let's say you are accounting business. You'll definitely look for other accounting business that's available locally, and you can copy their website's logo, website's URL, and can paste that on Google Keywords Planner. So Google Keywords Planner will provide you some ideas of some great keywords and competitive keywords that you can use for your website too. That's the easiest option and free of cost thing. And also it's highly potential because most of your audience are going to search through Google search engine anyway. So if Google provides you a good bunch of keywords, you can, if you use that, there is there's a high chance that that's going to work better. Now, some of us has been introduced with other Google keyword research tool like SEMrush, Ahrefs, AC ranking. There are too many available online, but as a startups, I believe Google Keywords Planner is quite okay for you. Give it a try. It will give you great result. If you don't want to copy an URL from any website or your competitor, you can directly add a keywords that's related to your business. Let's say you are selling some products, and you can put that product's name into that. You can add your service name in there. Let's say consulting or coaching. It will provide you a result of a list of some keywords that's relevant to the service you are going to provide. So this is how you can use Google Keywords Planner. Now, we had previously a couple of workshops and webinars with BCNT where we talked about SEO and keywords, and happy to help on that, and also provide you the link how you can use Google Keywords Planner for your keyword research. On page optimization, so it is important that you're not just adding all the nice keywords and good keywords for your business. Also, you have to do page optimization as well, because you have to make sure your content has got good headings, good headlines, good good links as well, because backlinks works a lot of times. I have heard this from many website specialists before, that the large website, like large business websites and many successful websites, they always high on ranking, SEO ranking, is just because the backlinks. So add some backlinks, let's say some related website links you can put in there to make sure that you are getting some good SEO ranking from your website as well. So on-page optimization is important to make sure it's being aligned, the content is being aligned. There's heading first and the contents, and heading first and contents, and the subheadings and then contents. So this is how it will look better and professional. Content promotion. This is where probably Leanna has covered most of it. It's not just building a website and leaving it there. You still can promote the contents within your website through your social media. Definitely you are going to promote your website through the website URL. On top of that, any blogs that you're writing, any new pages or services that you're adding, you can still promote that through your social media. So on that case, what's happening? You're not depending on waiting for people to your customers to search for your business or services and click into your website link. You are approaching them with your social media post as well, saying like this is what you do, this is what you provide, or this is what I think about this and that, and here is my thoughts. Have a read, and if you want to know more or learn more or get some services, contact me. So this is how you can approach. Technical SEO, it's not a very common case. Again, it's a rare case, but it happens. It happens with a lot of websites. Is the loading speed happens most of the time because of the server issue. If your server is not well set up, then you might have go to a link and then the website keeps loading all the time. And again, we had a timeline of 5 seconds. If you cannot show your contents within 5 seconds of time, that means the audience, your customer is leaving, going for the next website. So have to make sure the server is well connected and your website is SSL certified. You might have noticed sometimes you go to some website and it says, it's not safe to access to this website. You should have closed the window. Have you noticed that? It doesn't allow, because of that website, someone who you're looking for, that website doesn't have SSL certificates, okay? And that's why it's showing that it's risk to go to your website. So when you build your website, make sure your website has got SSL certificates and it doesn't provide any notification to the customer that it's a risk to browse this website. So we have to make sure that, and also have to make sure that the server setup is well connected, so that it doesn't take a lot of time to load. Probably if it's good internet speed, with probably 3 seconds or maximum 5 seconds. Now, excuse me, case study. I would like to use our case study because we started probably, I feel like day before yesterday, back in 2022. We are very small. I started, I and another team member, we started together, and yeah, now it's 2025. I'll tell you how this journey worked. So I'll be honest with you, it's not, I suddenly just build a website and put it up there. I had some previous experiences, so that's really helped me to jump on and then work on a website. But apart from that, I definitely had to make sure I'm doing some online research. So online research is like I definitely looked at my competitors, like who could be the most potential competitors in territory market or Australia-wide when we are going to start a business. So same goes to you. Have to do a bit of research. There is no harm if you look for your competitors. And there are a lot of tools available online. You can search, for your competitors, like who is doing best, especially on that specific products or that specific services. So there is online tools available, which you can use to get your competitors. And it is important to do the market research before you, start working on your website. Design ideations, very important. In our field, in web development and app development, we prioritize this thing first. We call it UI design, user interface design, or you can call simply graphic design for your website. And it shows that how it's going to look like. Now, it's just the design. You can change the design. You can take some feedback from your team, from your friend, from your colleague. They're like, what do you reckon? Does it look okay? Is it approachable? And you can get some feedback, on the design, that how you are going to build your website. So it is very, very important for you and for the team as well to make sure the design is looking okay. The message is crystal clear. Because again, 5 seconds theory, we cannot ignore that. We have to make sure that 5 seconds is enough to grab that attention. Development, and then the next step, of course, when you decided the design looks okay, we can jump into the development part. Now, development can happen in different way. Some of you might already give it a try. Building website in WordPress, Wix, or Squarespace, or something that, or with a CMS platform as well. And when you build a website, we definitely most of the time build it from scratch with some codings and programming. So you decide which platform you want to go for. If you practice WordPress before, make sure you are going for WordPress. If you practice Wix before, go for Wix. There are a lot of videos available online in YouTube. You can watch some videos to see how Wix or WordPress or Square or Squarespace could be helpful to build a website for you. Optimization. Now, after we built it, after we developed it, definitely had to look through like how smooth it is to browse through. Because again, if our customers, we're a small business, we are already in risk, competing with other businesses who is already running their operations for many, many years. So we have to make sure that when we approach with a website, it's user-friendly, mobile-friendly, and optimization is quite good. Otherwise, they might have get out of the website and jump into another website or another service provider. So we had to make sure of optimization. And of course, after the optimization, we did user accessibility test through our friends and colleagues, and they provided some positive feedback, saying like, no, it's okay, it's working well. We understand what you're trying to provide, what service you are trying to sell. So yeah, it's good to launch. Then we launch it, and that's how our journey started in 2022, and we are still surviving. Yeah, in the meantime, got some awards as well. So, yeah, and we are continuously, working on a website. It's not just we built it there once in 2022 and we never touched that again. No, we work on a website at least once a month, at least, because there might be a new team member join the team, or a service, or a post, or probably a couple of new testimonials we have got from our clients. We are going to put it in there, so that it stay updated. And we input new SEO keywords every single day. So let's say before 2024, we were not quite concerned about putting some AI-related keywords, but now we are putting AI-related keywords in our website as well, to make sure if someone search for AI automation or AI applications, they can find us out, because we work with that services too. So it's not just one-off thing. You have to constantly keep looking and keep updating your website to get better outcomes of it. So keep that in mind. Now, I had to bring that all in one page because there are too many tools available online it's not possible to explain and describe them in one night because it's going to take a lot of time. But have a quick look. You might be already familiar with few tools that I'm showing in here. Mostly, if I say, if I ask anyone, any new startup business, if I ask that, do you know WordPress? They'll say, definitely I know WordPress. It's very common. Pretty much everyone uses that one. Apart from that, Shopify is there because when you build an e-commerce website, then you can use Shopify or Wix or Squarespace. That helps you to promote your products, manage your inventory, and also to make sure that you are getting the payment online as well. So, excuse me, depends on your services or your intention with the website. You can select a tool that's going to be helpful for you. Just a that's another thing. But again, when say small website, it really doesn't going to cost you money because WordPress comes with a free plan. You can start up landing page with a free plan as well. Most of the website, unless you go for the next level, it allows you to do the basic things. So yeah, but again, when you want something better, it will ask you for money. So keep that thing on mind as well. There's a cost related to this matter as well. Website builder. There are too many available online in market. Few significant one, if I say, I would have say WordPress for general website, promotional website. For e-commerce website, Shopify, biggest platform for e-commerce website. They have got lots of plugins in there. You can customize it with your website as you want, and also, it helps you to manage the inventory, properly. So you can decide which one you need to go for. Wix, Squarespace, Square, and there are many others, available online. Content management systems, CMS systems, and CRM systems, really helps your business and operation to run smoothly because you might be, a small business or startups, and if you've got like more than 100 customers initially, it becomes difficult at some stage to manage those leads or manage those customers, or to keep them updated with the services, with the offers that you have got. Now here, a CMS or CRM tool can help you out. How does CRM tool works or CMS tool works? So every time you get a leads out of your website, they can click onto the contact us page or book an appointment page. Your CRM or CMS system, make sure that the appointment is getting booked, or they are directing to the payment page when you use an e-commerce website, and you are getting the payment on your bank account. So website platforms is basically showing it up there, and the CMS or CRM is converting that leads you are getting out of your website into your customer, or to make sure that they are getting engaged with your services or products. Search engine optimization. For search engine optimization, the mostly worldwide the most used tool is SEMrush, but the cost for SEMrush is a bit expensive. You can look for other tool as well. If you are really interested on SEO ranking, you can use AC Ranking. AC Ranking is probably $65 a month, but you can use it for a month and can unsubscribe it if you want. Can really help you to at least to get hundreds of keywords for your business and to make sure that your website is showing up online.
Does it integrate with website though?
Which one?
Those providers, the SEO optimization providers. Their website and then
Yes. So how SEO tools works, you just have to put your website link, and it scan all the information from your website, including the services you are providing, including about your business, including the location and everything. And not just that, it will tell you how many competitors you have got in local market, because you can filter out. When you search for scan your URL of your website. Let's say you want to focus on market in Australia only, and it will configure on that way. Let's say you are focusing on market in NT only, it will scan and configure on that way and show you the result. So it will show you the local competitors who is showing up online more often, and most related keywords, and there will be many other informations you can get out of it. So it's good to give it a try. It doesn't just help you to get some keywords. It also helps you to see your competitors, your related markets, and good statistics. That's how most of the business are doing, in case of SEO ranking. So it really helps on that way. Web analytics. Again, for web analytics, most of the website platforms, they come with their own analytics tool. But for free and as a startup, you can start using Google Analytics. If you've got a Google account and that's connected to your business, you can directly integrate your website link and it will show you a result. You might have to add a heading codes in your website to make sure it's integrated properly. On that way, you will be able to see the analysis of how well your website is doing. So, and also it will tell you the real result, how often your audiences are looking at your website, how often these audiences are getting into potential customer, transferring into getting potential customers. All this result you can get in real time if you use any analytics tool. Mostly, Google Analytics tool can give you more often details and can help you to understand where you can work better. So make sure you're integrating your an analytics tool on your website as well when you build a website, and that will really help you out. You don't have to go and check it out every day, but once in a while, let's say once in a month, if you go out, it will show you some result. How many people looked at your website. Let's say last month it was 300, so you have got an idea that why you have to work more to make sure next month is 500, which is possible. So that's why the analytics tools help you out to show you real result of your website, audiences and how many of them are, converting into leads, into customers. Hosting and domain services. This is another thing a lot of businesses struggle. Build a website, spend a lot of time, but how do I go live with that? So what do? You host it online. You have to, connect it with the domain. And to make sure every time people search for your website, let's say dreammedia.com.au, and that dreammedia.com.au, that domain will help your audience to look at your website. So you can get a hosting services from different platforms like GoDaddy, Hostinga, Crazy Domain. There are too many. There are too many available online. You can search saying hosting and domain services. It will give you a whole list of businesses or platform which helps you to to host and domain host a website and to get a domain for your website. For domain, it's good to start with Crazy Domain or what's the other one? That's really that sells domain for a very cheap price. Hostinga you can use to buy your domain as well, because it's provide you discount all the time. So, let's say Hostinga. Yeah.
Just Ventrade do this?
It's a little expensive because they are Australia based. So yeah, you can try if you because it's not going to cost you a lot of money, but again, Synergy Australia is another service provider, because if you get it from Australian service provider, then you can reach out to them anytime if there's any issue with your domain. But when it's with GoDaddy, you have to, you can call them, but they will hold it for a while. So have to make sure of that, have to keep that on mind. But again, there are a lot of service providers available. You can search as like domain service provider. A list of it will show up, so you can decide who you want to go for. You can do compare in different sites as well, that how much they cost for that specific domain you are looking for. Now, few domain service provider also help with hosting as well. Let's say Hostinga, GoDaddy, they help you to host your website as well, so you can decide. If you are building your website with WordPress, You don't have to host it, in other services because, WordPress already help you to host your website. Shopify already help you to host your website. So these are big platforms, to develop your website. You don't have to host it, externally or in any other platforms. You can directly host it with the website platform anyway. But the domain you have to get from your side. You can get it from GoDaddy, Hostinga, Ventra IP, Synergy.
Like .com.au, .com.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one thing might have confused you. Sometimes when you search for a specific domain name, it says this domain has been taken. Have you noticed that? It's because someone already purchased that domain that you're looking for. Someone already probably, thinking of starting a business or already start a business with that specific name that you are thinking for your business or for your startup. So on that case, what I suggest to, local businesses that, let's say your business name is, let's say, Present Way Coaching. Sorry, I couldn't bring a name. Present Way Coaching. So Present Way Coaching may be taken by someone already from, other state of Australia. And what do? You have already decided, you designed the logo and everything, and then you still want to go for that specific domain name. On that case, you can add NT, presentwaycoachingnt.com.au, and that will help you to make sure you still have getting the name and the website for your business.
Would you have trouble then to trademark it?
Which one, sorry?
To trademark it then? So because they look at the similar names and things.
No, I don't think so, because you already decided and built your website and set the logo, and you cannot compare like that, because with the same name, recently one client came with the idea that he is going to start a business named SkyTech Solutions, and there are already thousands of business available with that name. So just think. Already multiple businesses copying the same name, following the same name. That doesn't, bring you any issues in case of trademark and, plagiarism, because...
There's a little Rifat, so you're getting into IP law there that maybe you don't know. So if it's a similar product or service, then you definitely do have an issue and you should look for something else.
Yeah.
In that case, it's not just your URL you have to worry about, it's changing your business name completely. So if it's if you're an accountant, it's another accountant that's got a similar name, you're not going to be able to trademark that. If it's in an accountant's, then accountants is not so much of an issue, but if you're a product like you are, then you have to seriously think about that. Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
So,
No, of course. Okay, so yeah, it's good that Neil you mentioned. So here's the thing. Now, when you're talking about the service and internal things, or could be the products, that's not related to your domain at all, because if it's already taken, you cannot copy or use the same domain name anyway, because if it's under .com.au, it's already taken. You cannot take it. And that's why sometimes when you search for a domain, it says this domain is already taken. Yeah. And that means yeah. So it gives you an impression that no, the domain is taken. That means I might have to go for a different name, isn't it? So yeah. Again, if you find it like the domain is taken, then you have to think other way that how you want to go ahead with your business or the domain name. But it's better to keep it professional and to make sure that you are Australian business. It's better to go for .com.au domain, and that makes it more obvious that it's Australia-based business. Otherwise, there might be a bit of issues to understand. Collaboration and productivity tools. It is not just your website anymore. Now, you can use and integrate multiple different other apps, website, and platforms with your website to make sure it's showing up to more audiences, it's bringing more result, and helping you to nurture those leads that you're looking for, to make them a potential customer. So integrate integrate more and more. Let's say you started integrating with analytics tool, you started integrating with SEO tool for your business, you started integrating with CRM, one step at a time. I'm not advising you to integrate pretty much everything at the same time, one step at a time, because at some stage you might going to have a lot of leads, a lot of customers, and you need a software or tool to manage your customers. So, I have a thought of that on that stage. Common website mistakes in the startup does. Okay, important part needs to discuss in detail what's happening most of the times and why we get out of a website, don't stay there for a very long time. Poor quality image. It's good if you use a stock image, and they have to make sure that it's okay. And we have to make sure that the quality is quite okay, because sometimes you might be grabbing a picture or an image from your desktop which has been sitting there for many long time, and you don't know when it does well fit in on your website or not. So have to make sure that you are integrating a good resolution image picture on your website so that it looks good. It has to be mobile friendly, because if it's not mobile friendly, you are missing out 60% of your audience. Keep that in mind, that we have to make our website mobile friendly. Content overload. Recently we've got a website, they built a website based in Alice Spring, and the contents, it took us to read through the website pretty much 45 minutes. Like that large website, too many contents they put in there. So we told him, you can add contents, you can redirect him to read more about your services, but you cannot put them all together on your landing page. It will be a huge crowd in there, and your audience will get scared out of your content. So make it short, make it quick, but with a crystal clear message. Slow loading speed. Have to make sure the server is well connected and it's loading. It's quickly. It's not the speed is quite fast when you load your website. Weak or missing call to actions. Have to make sure that there is a call to action. Either you're approaching them with the buy products, or book an appointment, or contact us, or send us an email. Have to make sure that you are approaching them with a message. Lack of trust elements. If there is no testimonials, no feedback, or no options to provide you feedback on your website, it sometimes doesn't make it trustworthy. So it's better to put some of your testimonials, some testimonials from your clients, from your audiences, or you can copy some feedback from your Google review as well, and you can put it on your website. It makes it more trustworthy than like, no, this is not the this businesses providing great services and also selling great products. So I have to make sure that we are providing some testimonials and reviews on our website. And that is pretty much all for tonight. I would like to get a questions from you so that I can help you out with your confusion. Anything? Yeah.
What kind of businesses should choose a website, especially again us as startup businesses, over just social media web-like platforms? With a lot of this stuff, I feel like there's obviously a big crossover. Even with sales, you can use like Instagram pages or Etsy and stuff like that. Why should we build a website and pay a bunch of money when we can just do it for free on our own on social media? Like what are the differentiation points between building a website and having a social media page?
Well, there is no competition between your social media or website. These both can help you to make more sales and grow your business. So I think they are like related to each other. I mentioned that when you have got a website, you are not just sitting there and waiting for your customers to click on the link. You can promote your contents, your services through your social media. Okay, so that, and also when you have got social media, you're going to integrate those social media link on your website. So it's related to each other. If you have got capacity, you have got your social media, which is good. Your first impression is nice. If you've got capacity to have a website, do that. On that case, you are covering both sides. And social media, you cannot provide a lot of information that you want to, but in website, you can provide more details of your services or products that you're trying to sell. So social media could be your first impression. website could be, the detail of the service or provide you are selling. Anything?
Thank you, Rifat.
No, it's my pleasure.
Thanks for hanging around, guys. I know we're
There you
a
go.
little bit late tonight. On Tuesday, we've got Greg Roworth, who's the NT's only systemologist, coming to talk to you about setting up systems within your business. Having your own business, it gets crazy. You start doing things ad hoc. You get 6 months down the line and you're trying to juggle too much. So Greg will come to you and tell you how to get those systems set up in your business from day one so that things are running smoothly. And then we've got Barbara Clifford as well. Some of you might know her. She's really big on the digital tools, and she's going to look at different tools to help you manage those systems within your business and make things nice and easy. So really worth coming along to. Thanks. Have a great night. Take care. Cheers.